Gerald W. Brister here, and let's get on a little topic here. This is kind of common today. Been on some jobs and had several similar situations, but this is the one that stood out the best to me. We had a young man on a job, I believe he was a welder's helper, and he had an old beat up car. He talked about how he screwed off in school and he didn't learn anything. He had 2 children by 2 different women. His child support, he couldn't afford to live, lived in a bad neighborhood with burglar bars, and just on and how it wasn't fair, yada, yada, yada. And finally, the second day at lunch, he's doing this, and I kind of had enough. And I said, son, I don't know what you're complaining about. I said, your life is going exactly as you planned it. I said, you're one of the few young people I know that's planned their life, and it's coming out exactly like you would. And these welders are sitting there kind of looking, and he said, well, what do you mean by that? Well, he'd already said he'd been in jail, got all these kids, he couldn't sleep at night because he lived in a bad neighborhood. I said, you, by your own testimony, messed around in school, didn't learn anything, didn't get a job, did drugs, partied, and now you're just reaping what you've sown. I said, you're the best farmer I know of on this job. I said, you're better than me. So what do you mean by that? That's what the Bible says, you reap what you sow. And he said, well, what does that mean? I said, that means you put seeds in the ground, and you don't get the crop right away. It takes a little while. But eventually it comes in, and the crop gets more and more and more abundant. I said, you have a bumper crop in. That's what you've got. You are a great farmer. He looked down and he said, well, I don't like how things are going. I said, well, then here's a great option. Our God is a God of a second chance. And at any time, you can decide to pull your head out of your backside and decide you're going to make a change. And just like when the trouble didn't come right away, the good's not going to come right away. But you start showing up every night, you go to bed at night, you do the best you can with an old car, you have a backup plan with somebody to get you to work, and if you'll change your attitude on this job, one of these older men will teach you, a younger man, how to start welding. And it won't happen right away, but in time, the sky is going to get a little clearer, a little bluer, your life's going to get a little better, you're going to make a little more money, and one day, you may have your life squared away, and you may not even be the same young man I'm talking to today. I'm Gerald W. Brister. Our God is the God of a second chance, and so is Gerald Brister.